This is how you can make your own adorable seashell quilt applique. The template for the seashell is now available in the link in my bio, and once you've downloaded and printed that out, you're going to cut out and arrange all the shapes. I have since adjusted the pattern a little bit so yours will look slightly different. So to start, you're going to take each pattern piece and cut out all the fabrics that you want for each piece. And remember, when cutting out the pieces for the right side of the seashell, that you flip all the pattern pieces over so they're face down on top of the fabric. To assemble the seashell, we're going to start from the middle and work our way outwards. You're going to take the two side pieces next to the center piece, making sure that you're lining up the straight edges of each piece, and then sew a straight seam down. Once you have sewn all the pieces together except for piece E, the smallest piece, then you're going to press all the seams towards the center of the seashell. For this part, you'll need some lightweight fusible interfacing. Make sure to cut a piece large enough to cover the entire seashell. Making sure that the right side of the seashell is facing the iron-on side of the interfacing, you're going to sew around the entire edge of the seashell. At the edge of each curve, I like to lift up my presser foot and pivot the fabric so that when you flip it right side out, it still has a defined shape. After you've sewn around the entire edge of the seashell, you're going to just trim off all that excess interfacing. And then I like to go back through and add some notches and just clean up those points where the curves meet so that it's really defined when I flip it right side out. Now to flip it right side out, you're just going to cut and make a slit in the interfacing and pull it through. Once you've worked out all the edges, then you're going to take your background fabric and cut a piece that is 15.5 inches by 19.5 inches. Or you can choose whatever size you want depending on how big you want each of your blocks. Once you've centered the seashell on your block, make sure that there's about 1.5 inches from the seashell to the top of the block, and then you're going to press it and iron it to the background fabric. Don't fully fuse and press down the bottom of the seashell piece yet, because we do still need to add in those last two piece E pieces at the bottom. Now for piece E, you are just going to do the same process that we did with the scallop part, and you're going to sew around the edge with interfacing, trim it off, and then flip it right side out. And when you go to iron them on and add them to your quilt block, you're just going to lift up the bottom part of the scallop piece and then press and iron all of those pieces down. This pattern is available on my website, and the link for that is in my bio. Come back for part 2 and we can do the rest.